What's up, everyone? On my last trip out to do some steelhead fishing, I got some really cool drone shots. So it was bright sunny skies, really crystal clear water, which is not great for fishing, but it is great for seeing what's going on underneath the water. So if you're ever curious to see what the steelhead are doing when your bobber floats by, take a look at this video. You're going to get some key insider knowledge. Now, before we even get to the bobber side of things, I just want to freeze it right here for a second and tell you how good these steelhead are blending in with their surroundings. So tell me how many steelhead you guys see in this frame right here. I'll give you guys a second to look at it. Okay, so I'm sure I missed a few, but anyways, here's the one that I found. So there's one up here in the top. Just upstream of that, there's two. I believe those are paired up. Right below that, there's one, maybe two. I can't really tell, but at least one. And just below that to the right, we have another two. I believe those are also paired up. And then these are the three most interesting fish in this whole drone sequence that I'm about to show you. And I'll tell you why in a minute, but it's these three right here in bold. Okay, so I filmed these fish for over 30 minutes and watched all the footage from all of it. And these are the three most interesting. So I've zoomed in on this little area with these three fish. And what you'll see here is there's these two, what seem like healthy looking steelhead, and then the one smaller fish that has a bunch of white on it. And that white are all scars. And as these steelhead come up the river, they get scarred up, especially the males. And then when they head back downriver, back into the ocean, the salt water all heals that up, and they're back healthy again, ready for the next season. But anyways, these three fish. Let me first by identifying the three fish. So there's one up at the top, the farthest upstream. That's the female, and you'll see it here. It's actually fanning the bottom of the river. That's to make a redd or a bed for their eggs that they're going to drop. And then right below that, the other fish that looks about similar size, that's a male, and that's the pair to that female essentially. And then the fish that's far down below that, the one that's beat up and a lot smaller, that's also a competing male. So right there, if you just saw that, once that competing male comes in a little bit closer and it gets too close, that bigger male just chases that one out. And that's why that fish has so many scars on it, because it's a smaller fish. It gets beat up by that bigger male, and every time it gets too close, it gets pecked at. And yeah, that's why it's all banged up. So right there, you see the male chase that smaller male away from the bed. Anytime it gets too close and it's getting infringing on its territory, that bigger male is going to chase that smaller male away and make sure that it doesn't fertilize those eggs. Okay, so here's the part we've all been waiting for. What happens when your bait drifts right past that steelhead's nose? So you'll see in this clip, we have the bobber drifting down, and you can't really see it unless you look really closely. There's a little white piece of bait that's drifting behind that bobber. And this one literally goes right over the top of those steelhead, and there's no reaction. So this particular time of day and on this particular river, water clarity was at the highest I've ever seen, and it was bright sunny day right in the middle of the day. So this is probably the hardest time to get a steelhead to bite. But if you have everything dialed in properly, you never know when you might get that steelhead to hit. So on this drift, you'll see my bobber float right past those steelhead, and it's really hard to see. I'll slow it down here in a minute, but I have a little bit of bait right behind it, and you'll see it drifts right past those steelhead, and then one of them comes right there, boom, chases it, turns away, comes back, chases it, turns away again. So he didn't hit it, but here's what I see. All right, so I've zoomed in on that little bed area again, and I've slowed it down to 25% speed. Now, I'm no steelhead expert, but let me just give you my analysis. But first, let's stop here for a second. You can see my bobber right there, where I'll circle this little white speck right there. Now, that's my bait, and that's roe. So keep an eye on that little white circle, or that white dot, as we play through this footage. So you'll see that little white speck drifting down, drifting down, drifting down, and it's going right past those two bigger steelhead right at the top of that little red. And basically what I'm thinking is that little speck, the roe that I have on there, is basically simulating a little piece of roe that female is dropping on the bed. And so because of that perfect simulation, this male right below the bed comes and starts investigating. So first he comes up, looks at it, comes back, looks at it again, and right at the last moment he turns away because he realizes it's not real. So, unfortunately, I never got an actual steelhead bite on camera, but I still thought this footage was really cool, which is why I wanted to share with you guys. So, let me know what you guys thought. Did you see anything else in the footage? If you like the footage and want to see more, let me know as well. I'd love to do some more stuff like this, and I would get an actual steelhead bite on camera, on drone footage, on the drone camera. That'd be pretty cool. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys thought, and we'll see you guys on the next one.